Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Gleberman, and you're listening to Silence on Set podcast. I'm going to start off with one easy. I'm sure you've been hearing this all day, but what has inspired you to create a show like this? Because this is very different than I've known you for a very long time. And anyone
Yeah,
listening, I mean, we go back like 2010. So
yeah.
I've seen a lot of the shows that you worked on. This is beyond different.
I was compelled to do a show that was more like, I compared it mostly like to a crime novel or like an espionage novel where each episode would be like a chapter in a book, but those chapters still have to have beginning, middle, and end and have to be compelling and have surprises and twists and turns. But there would be one plot that would go over, this long of a time. That was really the inspiration for doing it, writing it like, have people on the edges of their seats would be like turning pages.
Is it crazy to say that I felt a little like The Saint mixed with like a Die Hard, mixed with like a
Awesome.
procedural? Is that like crazy or?
Yeah, no, not crazy. In fact, you hit it because when I first talked to Amazon, I was like, I want to do a throwback to the 80s movies that I grew up on, like Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Crimson Tide, Romancing the Stone, like all of those cool sort of like they were having fun while the stakes were real. There millions of people could die, but yet you could still love your job, be good at it, be extremely professional, but also just funny and awesome.
I'm sure you're aware there's a lot of Jensen Ackles fans in this.
What?
Have you heard that? I don't
Is
know.
that
Maybe.
true?
Oh, brand new. Introducing new on the
Yeah,
block.
introducing Jensen Ackles.
So talk to me about the reaction was extreme when he got announced to be on the
Yeah.
show. I know he was in your brain, which is
Yeah.
genius. So how did that come about? Why was he the one that you were like, I need to get that actor?
Yeah. Well, as I was talking about 80s throwback, characters, you're hoping that you could find someone as charming in his heyday as Bruce Willis, John McClane. And if you've spent 5 minutes with Jensen Ackles, you know that he would fit that. He could have been in any of those movies. And if he had just been born 2 decades before he was. But what was awesome is the first time that we went to lunch together, in 5 minutes, we came to realize we went to rival high schools in the same hometown. And so we've had very similar upbringings. There's a lot of Jensen Ackles and Mark Meacham I pretty much merged what my thoughts of were, the character after I met him.
And to kind of go on that with the scripts. So when you're writing the scripts, you have Jensen kind of in mind for it. You find out he's going to do it. You're super excited. You hear this other amazing cast. I mean, when people see it, there's all these great guest stars. There's amazing actors on the show. How does it change from your vision, your cards that you make, the script that you make, your outline into, oh my gosh, that's Mark Meacham. Like, how does that happen?
I've been lucky enough to do this for a while. And one thing any writer who's done this will tell you, especially if you're working on seasons of shows, series that are going to go longer than one season, so it's not a limited, then you really start to merge the actor personality wise with the character, and you'd be a fool not to write that way. And so I had thoughts in my head of the way these guys were going to be. And then you cast, and I got super lucky because this cast they're amazing, but they're also like good people. So they're the kind of people you'd root for offset. And then hopefully then that translates to the chemistry that they have on set. But for sure, then as I was writing and as they kept getting cast, you start changing the way you would have presented the characters. And that's the magic to me and what makes people want to come back.
So I have some fun questions. I'm gonna do a rapid fire for you.
Oh,
and
okay.
Some fan questions. You ready?
Let's go. Wait, fan questions?
There's already fans. Yeah, a couple fans. Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Fans, of course.
All right. Sweet.
All right. First question. So the show plays obviously with time and pressure. So what real life countdown moment in your own life would make a good thriller?
I will say that the day my first son was born, I was so clueless on how that whole thing happened. Like, I can't imagine that they would let people drive themselves to the hospital at 2 o'clock in the morning, try to check your wife in, not know where you were going. I walked into the wrong room. They yelled at me. I didn't have the right badge. They were, you're trying. I didn't think I would watch. And then I guess like a reporter, you watch the whole thing. And then your son's born. And 3 days later, they're like, go home. I didn't have a manual for how to do this. I don't know. That would be the night my son was born would be my countdown clock.
What scene or moment in Countdown did you write knowing full well it would make people go and gasp on Twitter?
Well, I call those lean forward moments because I want the audience lean, like, oh, did she just say what I thought she said? So there's a few of those romantically with characters where I'm hoping that you're like, oh, wait, I caught that look, as they're walking off. But then there's also like shocking moments where characters that we thought were going to be lasting through the series are no longer on the series. So there's a few of those.
You created iconic characters, but who from Countdown would you trust with a real world life crisis?
I would trust Jessica would do all of the research necessary. Jensen would fix it and then ask for the instruction manual after. Eric would very thoughtfully direct 5 other people on how to do it. Elliot and Uli and Violet would be laughing too hard to actually get the objective cleared. So that's what I would say about the 6 of them. Those aren't characters, those are actors, but that's
It counts. It counts. Yeah. Okay, so fan question from @Update Countdown. They would like to know, which episode are you most proud of?
Man, that's a tough one to answer because they're all your darlings. I think the audience is going to really, really be riveted by episode 10. Really 9 and 10, those two together. But there's so many that I like that come before that. So I think 7, the ending of 7 is going to be like, oh.
ADDER5741 would like to know, what's the best difference writing between streaming and network television?
100% it's that you can use the F word.
@SinnerQueen7 says, what makes Countdown unique and stand out from any other show that be deemed similar?
I think the thing that makes this show unique is that the countdown of the title does not just refer to the big event that's going to happen, but there are personal countdowns that are happening for almost every character that are going to make the audience have to or can't wait to watch the next episode.
I took a screenshot, an FBI file that appears in the first episode because I'm like that. I got to ask all the questions. So in it says that his profile, Mark Meacham, is described as, it says, lacks discipline, restraint, exhibits cowboy behavior during raids, undercover operations, endangering the lives of his fellow LAPD officers.
Yeah.
And it also says that he bucks against authority. He has a police background. He's now a detective. Yeah. And then I even got a little bit at the bottom with a little bit of a military army background. So tell me how that plays out. And again, how Jensen is able to filter that in his brain.
I don't want to spoil things because he gives away information in small doses that you're going to have to piece together and learn more about his childhood on into his adult life. And those moments, I think, are really special moments. So I want the audience learning them as the character learns them. But I do love that if you put anything in the background, that audiences will blow it up and then be like, oh my God, it said 1052.
Literally have it. Exactly. I literally took a photo and zoomed in.
Exactly.
Thank you for listening to Silence on Set podcast. My name is Monica Gleberman. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more interviews to come.